thank you, Tanya, for agreeing to meet with me today over Zoom and
My
share a
pleasure.
little bit about your move out of California.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so Tanya and I both work at Sotheby's Realty, International Realty, and Tanya was out of the Vista office in California till recently. You moved to Tennessee. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
Wonderful. And now you're
Yeah,
a real estate professional in both states.
that's right. Yeah, with the Zeitlin Sotheby's office out here. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, what's that like, and what motivated you and your family to make that move out of California?
Yeah, so for us, we actually visited Nashville and had planned to hang out with some friends in 2016 for New Year's Eve. And at the time, we were hearing a lot about Nashville and how fun it is as a party city. So we had planned to celebrate New Year's Eve in 2016 in Nashville. So we came out here, met some friends, and we stayed for about 4 or 5 days. And while out here, just did some driving around the area and discovered Franklin, which is about half an hour outside of Nashville.
Mhm.
Um, and it was during that trip that we completely fell in love with it. And I don't think when we returned to California, we got off Zillow from the rest of the time we were in California, just looking at houses and dreaming about being here. So that was it. It was just an instant love for Tennessee for both my husband and I, which is great, thankfully.
That's exciting. So, you went there for a visit, not expecting to make any kind of move. And that
No.
was 10 years ago, and you fell in love with the location.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of Californians tell me great things about Tennessee. Can you tell me how it differs from California and other states?
Yeah. So once we got home and certainly started scouring Zillow and getting on the internet and doing a lot of research and finding out more about the area, we definitely noticed, which I think a lot of Californians do in most compared to most other areas, is the value for money you get in terms of your house. So, for instance, we are now on 13 acres. So that's just not something that we probably could have had afforded in LA County. So now we have a lot of space, which is wonderful. And your median price point here gets you triple the house that it would at least back in the South Bay and Palos Verdes where we lived. So that for sure. Uh, the cleanliness of the state, it's something that really hit both of us when we came over. We just noticed how incredibly clean everything was and lush and just well maintained and taken care of, especially around Franklin. Um, and then there's no income tax, no state income tax for no state income tax on your income. So that also was a huge benefit. My husband got to retire from work last year, April, and so to have no state income tax on his pension is just such a wonderful such a wonderful bonus. So
Free money, yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So that sounds like three great reasons that motivated you and your husband to move.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
look of the place, it looks clean and beautiful, and you get, three times more house for your money or
yeah.
same house for a third of the price.
Right.
And then finally, no state income tax, which amounts to about what, 10-15% of income you
Exactly.
pay.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Great. So you
yeah.
feel instantly richer.
Yes, that's right. That's
That's not a bad thing.
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
And what would you say surprised you about being in Tennessee in terms of things you didn't expect before moving there?
Yeah, I would say the pace of life and everything is everything is a lot slower and just more relaxed. And it's funny because when we had first moved, I had made a few phone calls to do with the house for services or whatever it was that we needed. And it was funny because I didn't get calls back right
Mhm.
away. Like they maybe called back in a day or two. And I was like, what is going on? And it kind of had that California mentality about getting a return call. And when they had returned the call, it was the friendliest, sweetest person on the other line with their little southern accent and, hi, how can we help you? And I know you called. And it was, I was like, okay, I need to reframe my whole mindset here because not everybody is just grinding like everything needs to be done yesterday. People everything's just calmed down. It's a lot slower. So that I kind of knew, but I didn't know, not until I moved and then lived the lifestyle and discovered just everything is doesn't have so much stress attached to it. So the day to day living is, I can definitely feel it. It's like a visceral feeling of just not that heightened anxiety attached to having to do things constantly, as I did back in California. It just a different pace
Different
is
pace.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Different culture, it sounds like.
yeah,
People are nicer, and it's
yeah.
not all calls are not just all about the business
Yes,
and
yeah,
getting down to business right away. So it
yep.
makes almost Californians sound like New Yorkers
It
compared,
does a little bit. It
right?
does. It's so funny. And, I'm doing real estate out here too. I'm with Zeitlin Sotheby's, and just dealing with other agents when you call on a listing, it is so completely different. I was just blown away. It's when I would make a call on a listing in California, I would feel instantly on the defense. Like you're a lot of the times, probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, you feel like it's an instant battle. You gotta have your guard up, and the listing agent normally has to embellish a little bit because they want you to feel, there's competition involved. And here you pick up the phone to make a call about a listing, and they're like, well, we'd love for you to come by. And that would be, you know what? We don't have any action and I don't have an offer right now, but my gosh, the seller would love for you to write something. Anything would be great. We could start from there and we could have a great conversation. And I'm like, what? it's just, it's, it was very different. It's almost like with baked cookies, come over to the house and we'll have a chat. Completely different culture when it comes to real estate. I've noticed as well. Yeah,
Very interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, that is a change. And
yeah.
the sound of your accent, you've already earlier in your life made kind of a change in location before. Do you think
Yes,
that made it easier for you to make this move?
I think so. I think so. I grew up moving a lot as a kid for no other reason than just my parents liked to change themselves and would
Mhm.
they were always self-employed, would do different ventures in different parts of Australia. So moving has always been attached to kind of excitement and new change and discovery for me. So Australia to here was a big move, and then from California to Tennessee, it just felt like I was ready. It was 12 years in California and great things that Tennessee has to offer, and then the excitement of another big move and learning new things and learning a new part of the world, and it's all just fun. So it feels pretty natural to me to get up and move. I feel like I kind of get the 10-year itch every 10 years. I feel like let's do something different. So here we are.
Wonderful. I
Yeah,
like that because you have a new location, you make new friends, you can
yeah,
keep your old friends, but you're adding on to life and
right.
learning new things.
Yeah,
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 that's wonderful. Because in our business, I'm sure you hear this all the time. Super young people will say they're looking for their forever home,
yes,
and they're only like 30 years old. And I'm thinking, how do you know that you want to live here forever? Let's look
yep.
for a home that works for you now in the next
Wow.
years, 7 years. But people are sometimes so afraid of making big life changes and embracing all the places we could live out there.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I've learned forever home is never forever. I've learned that and I'm sure you have too. Like that forever home line is so funny because you sell a house and then you normally get a phone call 5 years later. You know what? This is too small. This is too big.
right,
Yeah, I need
right.
to move. Yeah,
Or you just want to experience something different.
yeah,
And are
yeah.
you finding people also thinking about moving out of country and experiencing? a different culture entirely?
You know what? It's so funny you should say that because I have a couple of girlfriends right now who are empty nesters, and they have mentioned that one in France and one Italy that, and they both want to experience. And so that's, yeah, that's funny you should say that because I haven't normally, but in the last year or so, a couple of my girlfriends have mentioned that. So just something new, maybe for 6 months to a year, but just to the kids have left and it's something that they're able to do. So they would like to explore. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
live somewhere else. And with
yeah,
all the options for remote work,
right,
people can actually do that. Yeah,
right, right. Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
So, back to your move and your experience, it sounds like it was 10 years ago that you thought about moving to Tennessee.
Yep.
And then did it take you, 8, 9 years to kind of finally make the move?
So, 2016, yes, we fell in love, and then that was it. We always knew that my husband was able to retire in 2025. So, I guess from that point, there was always a goal of everything kind of leading to 2025, essentially. And then in 20, as you know, 2020, 2021, the real estate market went bananas.
Hmm.
And we were watching that from California. We're watching Tennessee prices in California, and you know, uh, we looked at each other and we're like, if we don't buy now, the price is going to go through the roof, and we're going to get priced out. So let's just do it. So we did decide that, and then I was at work one day, and my husband called me, and he said, "Do you want to book a flight to Tennessee?" And I was like, "Why?" He said, "Because I just bought a house. You probably should go look at it." So I
Did
was,
he really?
yeah, yeah.
He made an offer?
He made an offer. He was like, I mean, he's like, I know that the area is great. It's on 13 acres. But you should probably just go see it and make sure that you like it. And I was like, okay. So I jumped on a plane with my son and we came out, and it was everything and more than I could possibly have imagined. So he did good. He did good. I panicked initially and I kind of might have yelled at him a little bit, like, oh my God, started hyperventilating a little bit. But when I got here, I was like, oh my gosh, well done. Good choice. So
It's a
yeah,
great story.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that. Do you tell that at dinner parties when you
I
have
do.
people over? Yes, I would too. That's a great story. Yeah, it's one of those, meet that house and fall in love with it type.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It
So
was.
if I have people that I come across in California that are actually thinking about Tennessee,
Yeah.
what should I do to connect them to you? Like, what do you think the process should be?
You know what? Just reach out. I was thinking about this the other day. I've got a few clients actually coming from California. A title rep that I used back in California. She's already got a place here, so she wants to sell and rebuy something else. I've got some people from Redondo that are coming in a couple months. Um, and it's so funny because I would the the professional me would tell you to perhaps rent if you were moving over and kind of just get the lay of the land. But
Hmm.
obviously, from my personal story, that was not how it worked for us.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Do you listen to the personal me or do you listen to the professional one? But there are so many great little pockets and areas all throughout Franklin, all throughout Nashville and Tennessee in general. Middle Tennessee is where we're at. And they're all pretty different. You know, do you want land? Do you want to be in a subdivision that is kind of close knit, but you're still in 4,000 square feet, brand new construction, beautiful home, or very newly built, beautiful home? Um, having lived here, I can better now guide people. Like, for instance, the family that is coming from Redondo Beach, they had very specific requirements, and certainly living on land, a lot of land, was not one of them because wife is extremely social, and husband made it very clear that we need to be in a community that's somewhat close to each other, perhaps an HOA community where there's a pool and clubhouse, because my wife will go nuts if she isn't socializing. So for them, that was a very different community than where I live. So I would know areas instantly not to show them and ones to show them. So it you can have whatever you want, and depending on what you want, it's all very close. And it sounds crazy. So we're on 13 acres, but we're only about 15 minutes out of downtown Franklin,
Mm,
about 30 minutes out of Nashville. But I'm sitting here in my living room and I'm looking out and I see nothing but trees and lush greenery and hills in the background. And I feel like very kind of isolated and private. It's wonderful. But I jump in the car and I'm at Whole Foods, in 10 minutes. It's great.
that's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
That's really amazing because I've had clients, and you might have had as well, that have moved to Arizona and said
Yeah.
that they were really remote, like they couldn't get to a Costco, it would take 45 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
if you can get to groceries in 15,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
wonderful to be on 13 acres.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah. And so that's kind of how Franklin is. And there's certainly a lot of development going on because it's growing quite rapidly.
Ooh.
Um, but you can also within 15, 20 minutes be on some great acreage or be in a very beautiful brand new subdivision that is social and closer to people and you don't feel so isolated. But we certainly, my husband and I, it was from day one in 2016. We wanted land, and that's what we wanted. So that's what we
Great.
what we got. Yeah,
You can get land, you can get a large, newer construction home. Tell me that newer construction home that's 3 to 4,000 square feet, how
yeah.
much would that cost typically? As an
So yeah, great question. So I guess how I can compare it would be a little bit like that saying brand new construction. Do you want that in Redondo Beach, Beverly Hills, Newport, and it's kind of the extremes of the areas that if I can compare it to something, it's hard to explain. Uh, you can get 3 or 4,000 feet, brand new construction, beautiful home, and depending on what area you're in, that could be 1.2 to 1.3. Or
Mhm,
if you're in an area such as Brentwood or Bellevue or Belmead, which is closer to Nashville, and I would say they're probably the Beverly Hills of that area, uh,
mhm.
then you're looking, 5, 6, 7 million. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and then it can jump quite a lot. And then you're on a little bit more land there, which is nice as well.
Okay.
Um, I don't, lots here aren't as tight as they are in California. I mean, we lived on our lot in California was, 4,300 square feet. So,
Mhm.
yeah, there's just a lot more land, a lot more space. So, a lot of properties, it doesn't really matter where you are, all seem to at least be on half an acre to an acre, and there's more space. So, um, but brand
And
new construction can range very, very rapidly.
okay, it can
Yeah.
range from 1 million to 5 million.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah,
But
yeah.
all decent neighborhoods, like even at the 1
Yeah,
million for 4,000 square feet.
yes,
Yeah,
beautiful
whereas
neighborhoods.
1
Yeah,
million in Southern California is going to get you kind of an older construction, smaller
correct,
home in an average neighborhood. Yeah.
correct,
So you'll
correct. Yeah,
get 3 times the square footage and a
yes,
newer home where you
yeah,
are.
yeah,
That's great.
absolutely.
Well, that
Yeah,
seems like something that people should definitely check out next
yeah,
time going to Nashville for country music.
that's right.
I
Yeah,
heard it's really fun there, and even a night out with lots of entertainment is less expensive than you would pay
it
in Southern
is.
California.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cost of living, just in general, I've noticed with utilities, with the house is less. Yeah, eating out at a restaurant is it's less. I wouldn't
Hmm.
say it's significant, but I definitely you definitely see the difference. You definitely see the difference. Gas is cheaper. Just everything's just a little less expensive, which is
Right,
nice.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, you spent time in California, and that's also a lovely place. But if people want a change of scenery or just retire in a more relaxed environment, you would recommend it
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Wonderful.
And it's so funny. I meet people time and time again who just have the same story as we did. They came to Franklin or Nashville and visited, and they fell in love instantly.
Mm,
I was at an open house the other day, and it just happened to be another Australian realtor. She was holding the house open, and I asked her what had brought her here, and she said, "You know what's funny? My husband and I were on a bucket list world trip. And we were both getting ready to retire, and we had no plans to move, but we were doing our world trip that we had promised we were going to do together when we both retired. And one of the places we're here was Franklin that we ended up visiting. And she said we both fell in love instantly, and we moved. Like we just, it was so beautiful, and so we fell in love so quickly that we just moved. So, and they weren't planning on it. And it's so funny because I hear that story time and time again, um,
Mm,
from a lot of implants. So yeah,
sounds great. It sounds like it
yeah,
has a lovely feel and a warmth to it.
yeah, it does very much. Yeah,
Terrific.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
any final word of advice for somebody that is contemplating this move?
You know what? If you're contemplating, come out and visit. And if you need to, I'm happy to show you around. And I really don't think you regret it. If there's any inkling to for a better quality of life, for a slower pace, um, and if I could do it over again with my son, if I could rewind time and raise him again, I would pick no other place than to do it than here. It's just the family feel. To me it feels like it was when I was a child. Just the wholesome nature and the way that kids are raised, and the schools are so wonderful, and the culture of the family life and the family unit, and the very family oriented activities and things to do. If I could raise my son again, I would do it here in a heartbeat. It's wonderful for families, really wonderful, and great schools,
Mm,
fantastic schools. Yeah,
and that's so important.
yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Well, Tanya, thank you so much for sharing
yeah.
of your experience and
Absolutely.
Tennessee. I'm definitely intrigued personally. I've never been.
You'll have to come, Nancy. We'll take
I
you for
look
lunch.
forward. That sounds great. Well, thank you again, and I will let all my viewers know that you're the go-to person there because you made that move
Thank
recently.
you. Absolutely. Yeah. And congratulations. This is such a great idea. I love the podcast. How wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought of it because I myself watch these
Yeah.
online sometimes about a particular subject. And I go,
Yeah.
a lot of people are moving. They're making this their time of change and renewal and new chapters. And whether it's moving across the country or to a new country, let's
Sure.
explore it.
Yeah. Great
Yeah,
idea. I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. I'm sure and those people that are on the fence, I think it's a great little thing to listen to if they want the encouragement or to know the ins and outs of making that move. It might help prompt that. So, yeah.
absolutely.